We get one shot at shaping our legacy. Real connection doesn't happen by chance. It's built, it's intentional. The best investment you can make for your family tomorrow is to invest in yourself today. And that's what we're doing here. This is Raising Rebels. Welcome to the podcast. I'm Joel, and I'm here with...
And I'm Tech.
Tech, today we're talking about connection. Talking about creating connection with our kids. Talking about creating connection with our wives.
Yeah.
Connection is something that really, it feels almost abstract sometimes. I think sometimes we expect connection to just happen. Sometimes our pace of life kind of overwhelms us and we kind of get away from those intentional moments. And there's a lot of dads out there who feel guilty that they're not spending enough time and they don't know how to fix it.
That's right.
So today we're going to talk about some things that can help fix it. Some practical tools that we can use to continue to connect or to start connecting better with our children and with our wives. So connection is built by small, predictable rituals, small habits. And I think that's important to understand is that it doesn't have to be anything over the top, anything crazy. It's just got to be small habits that we use and incorporate into our everyday lives.
Yeah. It can't be undervalued how much that is such a structure of family life and what it means for us as men. I love the book Atomic Habits with James Clear. He has a quote, and it goes like this. It is that you don't look like your goals. You look like your habits.
Yeah.
Effort doesn't lie. And to me, that literally is on my bathroom mirror. And it makes you think about those habits. The habits specifically are what you're talking about. It is little things that you will constantly do over and over and over again that will get you in a direction. And that, I think, is so important because connection and connectivity is one of those things that's very abstract. But we can do it, and we can do it with little steps all along the way.
100%. And again, I'd just like to reiterate this point to our listeners is that we don't expect them to be perfect because I am far from perfect. And I would assume that you would echo the same.
I'm a mess.
But we just need to be intentional and consistent.
Yeah.
Intentional and consistent. And so let's talk about a couple of ways that we could be more intentional and consistent as a family or with our kids. And then we'll get into a little bit about how we could be more intentional and consistent with our wives.
Yeah.
So the first topic or the first play in our playbook is dinner time.
Yeah.
Now I know that in the hurry and busyness of life, sometimes dinner time as a family can become very fragmented. And I want to challenge our listeners to really try to preserve that time as much as they possibly can, because I really feel it's that important of a period of time with our family. So much impact can happen at the dinner table. And again, there's going to be some nights where you don't eat together. Yeah. But if you can get it to where you're consistently spending time together at the dinner table 4 to 5 nights out of 7, I think that's a freaking win.
Exactly.
And so we have to make sure that we preserve that time because there's so much that can happen there. One of the activities that we do as a family is Rose, Bud, and Thorn, right? So Rose would be the beautiful part of the flower. What's something great that happened in your day today? And everyone goes around and shares, this is something good that happened in my day. The thorn would be, what was something that troubled you today, something that challenged you, something that upset you today. And we go around and we talk about the different things that maybe were a thorn or we considered a thorn that day. And then the last one is bud, right? And that is, what are you looking forward to?
Awesome.
Whether it's tomorrow, the week, the month, what's
Yes.
something that you're looking forward to? And it's amazing what that simple little activity can do to open up conversations that really go a lot farther than just that surface level immediate answer.
I absolutely love that. Because, if we go to the dinner table and we say, how was your day? You're going to get some one word responses.
Right.
Good, bad, whatever. No, when you frame it in what you're saying with the rose, the thorn, the bud, that's a really great picture that the youngest of young will understand. And then it will become kind of a thing over time that's just this, expect what to say at the dinner table, and it's not going to be one-word answers. I absolutely love that. And, we've had this on podcasts too, where we've talked about other episodes where we talked about the importance and the value of that dinner table time. I also want to frame this in a very particular way that I don't think we've touched yet, but we're talking specifically the home dinner table.
Right.
At least I am.
Yes, yeah,
and
that's how I would
that
refer to it
home
too.
dinner table is what it's about. I know a lot of people that it's like the parents are just too tired, can't get together for the meal that evening or any evening. And then the dinner is either left up to individuals to do their own thing when they can, or it's, hey, let's make it easy and we're going to go out tonight. It's not the same, especially in the reference of this area of connectivity. There's simply too many distractions that go on outside in a restaurant. So we're talking about that phone-free dinner table in our household. That's it for the distraction, right? Okay, you want to do a movie night and maybe have a movie on while you're eating. If that's your movie night gig, then that's your movie night gig. But otherwise, to connect, it truly means non-distraction, and we are with the people that we're present with at that table. When we go out, like the amount of restaurants that have TVs all around.
Yeah.
Right? And then the conversation at that table, the conversation over here, the constant interruption of a waiter or waitress coming in. Look, I got ADHD. I've had it since a kid. And all of a sudden, it's like, I'm over here listening to what they're saying, right? And I'm hardly paying attention to what's happening at my table. And of course, I'm old, all the gray. Yeah, I can barely hear when we're out at restaurants and it's super loud. Whereas that dinner table at home is so sweet. It's so precious. It's such the time to connect. And when we add that rose, thorn, and bud technique to it to stimulate the conversation and to keep it on track and to keep a flow, I love it. Oh, I wish I had used that growing up, man. That is awesome.
And you can mix it up too. You can simplify it. And you can simply, Stephen Kelly, the Sunlit Studio guy, Stephen.
Yeah.
He does one with his family called Highs and Lows. So it's the same concept as Rose, Bud, and Thorn. It's just simplified. And you can alternate those two. But just to have that connection at the dinner table, I think is important. I think you alluded to movie nights. Right. I think another playbook or a play in our playbook is having traditions. So maybe Fridays, pizza and movie night as a family, or pizza and game night, or, Saturdays we go on walks, whatever it is, just start creating some type of tradition.
Yes.
So that's something that they're looking forward to as well, because they know it's going to happen. And it's a way that you can intentionally connect with your kids.
Yes. I love this. And I'm a huge, huge advocate about these types of traditions in the household. And the reason why is that I had them growing up, and most people do, right? And you can look back and you can get these fond memories about it. But I'm telling you, as a dad that is now in the empty nest state, it's meaningful and it matters. Because when your kids bring it up, then it shows that it worked. That's to me the big thing. And look, it sounds however you want to make this happen, great. We've done iterations of, let's say, movie night. We've done iterations. We have gone from regular frozen pizza to now doing wood-fired pizzas on the big green egg. And, they are amazing. Then we've done from microwave popcorn to, no, we're going to make our own popcorn. We make our own, and the drawn butter and everything, and it like tastes way better. That became a tradition. And then the other thing, build the fort. Take the couches, all the cushions come off of the couches, and it's fort time. The one couch comes out, and here we are. Everybody in the family is all laying together in the couch. Guess what? Year ago, my daughter is at college. My son is, junior, senior in high school, and she comes down. It's Friday night, and she says, it's Friday night. It's movie night. And my daughter and son both build the fort.
That's awesome.
My wife and I are just sitting there laughing. That's the traditions that are still happening. They're going to do it with their kids.
Yeah.
I can't wait. It's so awesome.
Yeah.
It's so rich.
You're with these connection points, you are building legacy.
Yeah.
Right? You're building things that are going to be passed down from generation to generation. So we've got dinner time, we've got family night traditions. I want to talk about the hug, okay? Or while you're watching a movie, cuddling with your children. So our brain releases a chemical called oxytocin. Oxytocin is known as the bonding chemical. It gets released majorly in our brains in 4 ways: sexual intercourse, breastfeeding, childbirth, and then prolonged hugs. Anywhere from 10 to 20 seconds. And I want to challenge our listeners, because I saw this, and again, I can't give credit to the author because I can't remember who the author or who the poster was, but it was on Instagram. And they said next time you hug your kid, you don't let go first. Wait for them to let go first. If you do that, I think you are going to be shocked at how long they are going to hug you. Because I reflected on that. It hit me hard, because I was like, I'm going to try that. Because now that I think about it, like when I hug my kids, like I am the first one to kind of stop and like, all right, we're going to move on to this, we're going to move on to that. But now I don't. Now they make the break. And the hugs, they go 10 to 20 seconds if you let them.
Awesome.
But earlier on, I wasn't letting them. I was just kind of, all right, love you.
Yeah.
Time to move on to the next part of our day or next part of our life.
Yeah.
But I think sometimes our children really crave that connection.
Yeah.
They really crave that bond. And you're building connection literally.
Yes.
With hugging your child or cuddling and watching a movie.
Yeah. And this is hard for some guys, especially those that have grown up in a household that hugging wasn't a thing or touching wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
Maybe their dad didn't do it, and the only hugs ever received were from the mom. And now you're the dad, and you're doing the same thing. Well, I don't hug. I'm not a hugger. Well, this challenge goes to you that don't hug too. Give it a shot. And look, if you're not ready for the full on, go to the side hug, go to the arm, go to the 1, then bring it into the 2, do whatever. And look, it also takes just being aware.
Yeah.
My son now, he'll come up to me and he'll start doing the jabs, and he'll start all with that. And I'm realizing that's, he'll hug mom and he'll do that, but he's not the hugger with me as much because I'm not the hugger with him as much. However, that is him reaching out to me for affection and touch. I'm going to give it back. And there's times you're like, cut it out, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, lean in.
Yeah.
And if that goes into roughhousing, if that goes into wrestling, it's still contact. And then if it gets into that other piece, I highly recommend, you're not a hugger, try it. Yeah. Go for the sidearm, go for the double arm, and then do what you're saying. It actually works, and it's a sweet thing to do.
And the other thing that we can do too is try to spend one-on-one time with our kids.
Yeah.
With me having 5, it's a tough go. This is an area where I'm talking to myself as we're having this conversation. Is I need to get more intentional with the one-on-one time, because I think that time is so intimate and so important.
Yeah.
And sometimes I think I use the excuse of, man, there's 5 kids and don't have time for, all of them. But simplify it. It doesn't need to be long.
Yeah.
My middle daughter, I told her one morning, hey, we're going to go for a walk. She's like, okay, wake me up. We both slept in. But I was getting ready to go on the walk. And I said, well, there's only one thing that would stop us from this walk, because I already had a potential meeting that was going to happen that day. And then that meeting came to fruition. Hey, we're going to do the walk another time. She was every day. Are we going to go on that walk? Are we going to go on that walk? Hey, Dad, are we going to go on that walk? And then she would get distracted too. She'd be playing with her friends, and then she'd want to come home. Are we going to go on the walk? I'm like, well, yeah, I wanted to go on the walk 2 hours ago, but you were playing with your friends. Oh, well, let's do it tomorrow. Let's do it tomorrow. Like, she was just craving that time.
Yes.
It doesn't have to cost money.
That's right.
It doesn't have to be super complicated. Could be sitting out on the back patio.
Yeah.
Could be going for a walk around the block.
Yeah.
Could be driving to a park and throwing a ball or kicking a ball or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But just try to get that one-on-one time. It's a special time, especially if you have more than one kid. It's they feel special. They feel elevated. I think that's important.
Yeah, that's right. We're doing so much talk about those dinner table times, but that's everybody together. And there are definitely things that you want to connect and you want to be open to receive in the one-on-one, because that is where some deeper sharing can take place. And that is important. And they're going to feel that safety when, if what I'm about to say is going to get picked up by my brother, and my brother's going to tease me forever. But if I can come to Dad with this and have it just one-on-one, he's not going to tease me. So this is vital, that this kind of quality connection time is there in the one-on-one capacity, 100%.
Plus, the one-on-one time gives you an opportunity to talk to your kids about age-appropriate, major topics.
Yeah.
Right? Depending on how old they are, right? Talking to them about sex, relationships, pornography, politics, values, things that are happening in the world that, how you're processing them. It really allows you that time, especially if your kids are different ages, to be intentional and age appropriate with those conversations.
That's right.
Because you want to be the one that has the conversations first. You don't want their buddies at school or their friends' older siblings, and you definitely don't want the internet to be the first place they go to when they're searching for answers on the major topics.
Yep.
We want to be the source.
Yep. And I give my wife credit that she did a breakfast with our kids once every week. So our son got this week, our daughter would get the next week. And so every day, at one day a week, she would do a breakfast. And, she did this continuously. And guess what? She'd tell me stuff at night that I didn't know.
Right.
And I felt so disconnected because I hadn't put that time in. And then it started to become aware. And then it was like, okay, Jeep drives became our thing. We'd go on just long beach drives and then I would do things like take my son shooting, and we'd be able to talk on the way there, on the way back. But we had this kind of central time in the middle. So there's ways to do it. You just have to find it and to be intentional about carving it out and making it happen.
Speaking of our wives, we need to make sure that we are continuing to connect with them as well.
Yes, we do.
And so one of the ways that I think is important is to set some intentional time at the end of every day. It doesn't have to be long, but make sure the TVs are off. Make sure your cell phones are away, and just check in with each other.
Yep.
Hey, how was your day? My day sucked. Here's why. How was your day? Well, my day wasn't much better, and that's why I was being a jerk earlier in the night.
Yeah.
I apologize for that. What do we have going on tomorrow? How are we logistically getting our kids where we need to be when we need to be there? But having at least like a 5 to 10 minute screen-free check-in, I think, is one way that we can connect with our wives and try to stay on the same page as best as we can in a busy season of life.
I love that. I love that. It's so important. And, and I also think one of the strategies that works with me is that, when I would come home at the end of a day, it would be literally the end of the day. Dinner is being put on the table as soon as I get home, changing clothes, getting comfortable, whatever, catching up in the kitchen, and then it's dinner. And then after dinner, the chores of dishes and whatnot. And then you're on the couch.
Yeah.
It's like, are we watching a movie? You're reading a book. What are we doing? If that is the case, and that is like what happens, we recognized in our household, that's what happened a bit. And we just didn't have the time. We didn't have the energy for each other in that moment.
Yeah.
What we did was we did a devotion together in the morning. We decided when there would be a coffee time. And in that coffee time, like, we had a couple different schedules, but we found this little sweet gap. And that would be where we got into a devotion together. And from that devotion, either pre or post, was when we would catch up with each other.
Love that.
And then plan the day, talk about the day, and get into just a catch-up mode and a planning mode. A little bit both.
Yeah. And I think it's important because you kind of started talking about, but you should have an intentional date night with your wife.
Yes.
Never stop dating your wife. And it's a easy trap to fall into. And with me and my wife, we go in it's very up and down with, we're going to go on dates. And then it's all of a sudden we go through a season, a couple months where it's like, hey, when's the last time we went out together?
Yeah.
Because you just get caught up in life.
Yeah.
And like you said, you get caught up just in not having the energy to really want to go out.
Yeah.
But I think it's important that we continue to pursue our wives.
Oh my goodness.
Date them, take them to dinner so they don't have to cook it.
Yep.
And they don't have to clean it. And really, because when your kids are gone, it's just you two.
Mm-hmm.
And when your kids leave, you don't want to be looking across the table and be like,
who's this?
Who are you?
Yeah. Yeah. we've had conversation about that for years as we come into our own time as empty nesters. And my wife and I have been very intentional about dating. It has been a thing. We have gone through all kinds of stages of finance too, where there were times that we couldn't afford to go out. Like, our budget for meals out was so ridiculously low. And we would put that more into like breakfasts and brunches after church with our family rather than our date night. We came to learn that that really wasn't a healthy thing. We can do all kinds of things as a date night. Just walking around the mall. Go walk around the mall. Just have a walk. If it's raining out, or walk a park, or whatever you want. Walk a beach. We live where there's a beach. So there's so many opportunities to do things for free. And then, hey, look, go to the grocery store, grab yourself some things, and then have a little picnic. Look, here's the thing, guys. It might not be what you like. Like, I'm not a picnic guy. I just don't do picnics. I've never done picnics.
Yeah.
My wife loves picnics. So if I really want to do something that kind of leans more towards that, I'm gonna make that happen. And the same thing is, like, we talk about love is time is love. How do you spell love? It can be time. That's the thing. Look, I'm not a marriage expert, but I can tell you this. When you pour into your wife on time that is dedicated and devoted to her and paying attention to her, that is so sweet for them. You can't gift something like that. You can't go get us some piece of jewelry or flowers, and it mean that much. So this is huge, the date night scene.
Well, and that rolls right into the next point, is being a good listener.
Yeah.
Sometimes they just want you to listen.
Yeah.
They don't want you to fix it. They don't want you to give your opinion on it. They just want you to listen.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things that I've done is, as my wife is talking, I will engage. I'll, be engaged, and I'll nod and I'll listen, and then I'll pause. I'll ask her to pause for a second, and I'll ask, "What do you want from me here?"
Mm-hmm.
And I think that simple question is important. Do you want me to weigh in at the end of this?
Yeah.
Do you want me to try to give you something that can fix this?
Yep.
Or do you just want me to shut my mouth and continue to listen to what you're saying?
Yeah.
Asking for that clarity, I think, will help that process of listening.
Yes.
Because we can't assume.
Yes. Yeah, and it's so well documented that the verbosity of a woman exceeds the man's by I don't know how many multipliers, but women talk more than men. And so that's not a bad thing.
Nope.
The deal is that we're just, just like more, I don't know, efficient. That's even the word. Oh my gosh, I'm going to dig myself a hole. The point is that we are problem solvers. And so we're kind of like, get to the point. What can I do? How can I help? And that's not it exactly.
Well, and we're much more simple-minded.
Yeah. Yeah.
Women are
non-emotional.
And women are created.
They're complex.
So much higher level thinking.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're just simple.
Yeah. So, we're not doing a good job on any kind of justice of norms of being marriage experts and all in this. But here's the thing. The deal is that the beautiful part is that if we can understand our differences and know that, I'm going to want to fix whatever negative is coming out of her mouth, but she might not want that. Let's just pause right now and do exactly what you said. Hey, how do you want me to help you with this? Is this just something you want to vent? Is this something I can help you with? Oh my gosh, that clears it up. And I have done that before where I've just sat back and been like, oh, okay, you just want me to listen? All right, fine. I don't have to solve in my head and the gears are going. No, I'm just doing her a favor of listening and then going, man, that must have been tough for you today. Yeah. That's what they want.
Exactly. Real connection does not happen by accident.
Yeah.
It's intentional. It's built.
Yeah.
And I think that is what we need to take away from today is how can we connect with our children and with our wives better than we have been.
Yeah.
If this episode added value to you today, like, share, subscribe, share this with other men so that we can have impact on more families. Until next time, keep learning, keep leading, and keep raising rebels. We're out.